Hey folks, Michael Lynch here from Barna Financial Group, where my team helps you create and implement plans to help you finance your life's great desires. The purpose of today's video is really to take you behind the scenes and show you a piece of analytical work that my team does to help our clients make really smart decisions about their finances. Now, one of the hot topics today is going to be Roth conversions. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're interested in personal finance. And if you're interested in personal finance, you have some personal finances, and a lot of those personal finances are probably in pre-tax retirement accounts. And what that means is as you get older, you get worried that the tax break that you got for years putting it in and while it grew is about to flip around and cause you a lot of taxes when it comes out. We call it the tax time bomb. And many people think the solution is to convert to a Roth IRA. With the Roth IRA, you don't have to pay taxes when it comes out, but there's always a catch. And the catch is you have to pay taxes when you put the money in. So the big question is this a smart strategy? And as often the case, the answer is an adult diaper. And by that I mean it depends. And it depends on a lot more than just a simple look at tax rate, as you're going to see in this video. So what we're going to go to now is work on a spreadsheet that I work with our clients when we're helping to make this decision. And what this spreadsheet does is it takes their information and it says, what are they going to pay in taxes today if they convert? And what can they expect to get in the future? And most importantly, is it a good deal for them? Is it a good deal for them? So the first thing you'll see here is we take their ages. Ages matter because, as you may know, you are free to take money out of an IRA or convert to a Roth IRA your entire life. But you also do not have to take money out of your IRA or 401k until your required beginning date for RMDs, which if you're born after 1960 is 75 now, and prior to 1960 is going to be 73. So you have this, a lot of people have this window of opportunity in retirement, say from 65 to 75, a decade window at which they have the freedom to realize taxes today, get the money into a Roth IRA, and then save taxes later. Okay, so the first thing we do is we work out financial planning software and we figure out what is the client's current income. If they stay the status quo, what does their income look like? Now, in this case, we have somebody that's got $2.5 million in pre-tax money. Now, apply 30% of that state and federal income tax on average, and you can say there's going to be a lot of tax that could come out of that. How do we minimize that? And so in this column here, we just say if they do what they're doing, they're going to go from $177,000 of income, as you can see, in year 64, 180 and 65. And all of a sudden, you see that income jump from 189 to 266. And then you see it jump to 477. What the heck is going on? Well, what's going on is RMDs. And that's the point at which time this $2.5 million starts generating income. And yes, it's a good problem, but it's still a problem. Because as you see, they're going to go from $25,000 in annual tax, or excuse me, from $25,000 in annual tax to over $100,000 in tax. So tax going up 4 times. This is something they want to avoid. It's something you want to avoid. But the question is, what's the cost of avoiding it, and is it worth it? You always have to ask these questions. So folks, we're looking at taxes paid now and in the future. And we have to consider this thing called Medicare as well. Now, it is true that the price you pay for Medicare is going to depend on how much income you make. You start making too much money and you have this thing called the Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount, or IRMAA. Its name sounds like a hurricane for a reason, because it's going to send a typhoon potentially through your monthly budget. If you make and a spouse, you're married now, working on married people, under $206,000, your Medicare Part B premium will be $175. In addition, you're going to pay for some drugs, prescription drugs, and those will be roughly $55 a month. Add that together as a couple, multiply by 2, and you'll be under $500 a month, $460. As you start to earn more, $258, $322, $386, $750, all of a sudden, you're going to pay a lot more, as much as almost 3 times more for your Medicare. So we model that. We have to take that into account because that's effectively a tax. Okay, so now back to the model. So we have our current income and we have our current tax. And then we say, let's model some conversions. We're going to pay some voluntary taxes so we can reduce our distributions, our taxes later. So in this model, we're going to put in some conversions. We start this one at 70 and we go till 75, at which point the required distributions start for both of these individuals. So what we see here is a difference in taxes paid. So when we start the conversions, you see in year one, it's 96, 77, 64, 37, 32, 29. So we add those up over here and we say the total number of taxes paid now is $333,000. Now that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, right? And we also say, okay, but once now the required distribution starts at 75, the story changes. Now we look down here, and instead of positive tax numbers, you see a lot of negatives, right? So you see those. In addition, you see the Medicare premiums we had, and then you see as we start to convert, you see we're paying more in Medicare premiums, right? But eventually, hopefully, we would see less in Medicare premiums down here, but that's something we have to analyze. We really don't start seeing less in Medicare premiums down here all the way until 90, okay? So we know we're going to pay more early. The question is, do we save more later? And when we look at all the money saved, we say, wow, we saved $495,000, $495. So if I pay $333 and I save $495,000, that seems like a total gain of $161,000. A lot of people say, stop right there, and they say, well, do it. It makes sense. Let's take this thing out, right? Let's do it. Let's do it. But again, let's look at one more thing, Medicare taxes. On Medicare taxes, in the current plan, we pay $455. In the new plan, we pay more, believe it or not, because we pay those months early, and we don't really get it back later. So we pay $26,000 more. So our total savings overall, we save $161 in taxes. We pay $23 more in Medicare, and so we save $135,000. So a question you have to ask there is, $135,000 saved worth it? And only you can answer that. But I'm going to say you can't really answer it yet because here's the issue. The reality is you're paying the taxes today in the early years, and you're saving the taxes in the future in the later years. And there is a saying that says, a beer in the hand is worth a six-pack in the bush, right? And what that means is to get money today, enjoy a beer today, is going to be worth a lot more to you because you know you got it than what you might get in the future. And I did learn that early on in my career when I left some beer in the woods, and when I came back, it wasn't there, and I was very sad. So I should have took it with me. Now, here's the thing on this. So what we do is we have to net present value. To be analytical, we have to put all the money to the same time. So we did that. We said, okay, the net present value of all the taxes paid at a point in time is going to be $275. And then we say the net present value of all the taxes paid is going to be $368, right? But those taxes saved, we have to bring that back to today as well. And so that actually makes it $288,000. So what you're actually doing in this model, when you get all the way down to it, is you are paying, in today's dollars, $275,000. You know you're going to pay that to save $288,000, or an economic gain of $12,000. So is saving $12,000 today worth the hassle of going through all this to convert to Roth? Again, only you can answer it. But there's more. And that more is you still have to ask a question. We're assuming that people are living to 95 and 96. You might live to 108, but you might die at 85. So when do you really break even? At what point are you going to be in the money, so to speak, on this? And so we looked at it. How much money will you have saved if you die at 85? Well, at 85, you would have saved $180,000 in taxes, but you would have paid 75. So you're $95,000 in the hole at 85. And if you make it to 90, which is pretty good, in retirement, we have the go-go years, the slow-go years, and the no-go years. And what I'm going to say is that for most people, when we're at 90 and after, we're in the no-go years. But here you go. 274 saved, 275 paid, you're still $1,000 in the hole. So it's not going to surprise you that our advice when the sheet looks like this is that the Roth conversion is probably not a good strategy for a client. They're going to have to wait until their 90s to benefit economically from the deal, right? And I'll tell you the other thing is that's pretty shocking because when we start this out, it looks like it's a great deal. If I say you can convert your taxes right now and you're going to save $161,000, which I'll tell you is what most people would say, it seems like, well, I'm going to get $161,000. It's only when you take the analysis to two levels down, that you really come with the correct answer, which is, in this case, you know what? These clients are better off taking their $2.5 million and just getting it out smoothly to live and enjoy it, and then take it out as they're forced to take it out if there's still more money left in their retirement, and just use that the way they want it at that point. And with that, folks, I hope you enjoyed this long-form video that really digs deep into how we actually do the analysis and really break the issues down to 2 and 3 levels deeper than you're typically going to get from a soundbite, web app, or I would say even generative AI. If you have any questions, and you're free to do this analysis yourself, you can look at the spreadsheet, you can recreate it, you can play with it, you can put your own tax rates in, have fun. If you want to save your time and have us do it, contact our team. We'll walk you through the process, and we'll see if us doing it for you is going to be a good thing. Because like we like to say, we'll focus on your finances so you can focus on your life.